Welcome to the show, everyone. I am so excited to be here. I'm excited about networking with everybody out there. We're live on Facebook, so hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We're going to share the show later on. I want to first say happy birthday to my first guest, who is Kedzie Morgan, and probably the longest, actually, running guest that I've had on my show. Kedzie, happy birthday to you, and thank you for being back here. I want you to tell everybody a little bit about you and a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. Listen up, everyone, because we're going to open up the lines to the audience. Kedzie loves our listeners. You were a listener originally.
I was, and I usually start with telling my age because I have a very young sounding voice, so I want people
How
to
old are you
realize.
today?
72.
Yay.
I want people to realize. I just saw his face.
See?
I want people to realize that of all the experience that I might have time to talk about, they'll say, "What? Have you lived 100 years?" So I just like to say that. But we're here to talk a lot about a certain kind of technology that really changes your life and keeps you young. So I always bring...
And healthy.
And healthy, yes.
Yeah.
Young, healthy, vital.
Into the mic.
And
Go
I
ahead.
always, want to meet with people. We talk about people calling in to receive the gifts that are a gift of health, a gift of life.
Right.
And so that we usually start with the activation of water, which sounds kind of, what does that mean? So it all started because of something well known called Chernobyl. And the people that were relocated, one group didn't die, didn't get cancer and so forth, because they discovered in the environment a special water that was created by our Earth and the frequencies and magnetism. We were just talking about that and a lot of things. And so our scientist, being a nuclear physicist from Russia, was the one who discovered why this miracle of healing happened. And he took over 2.5 decades to not only discover what it was about the water, but replicate, create an activator, we call it, create a device that's small enough to sit on your counter. We even have a travel unit, I never even say that can fit in your RV or camping or whatnot. People hook up little solar cells to activate because we need electricity to do it. But he discovered it, discovered how to create an activator so that everybody can have it who finds out about it.
Now, you have been in the health field for well over 40 years, maybe more, 46 years. And you yourself were not well 100%, right? And the things were going on and you were noticing things. I want you to tell me how you got involved.
72, it's exactly 20 years ago.
Wow.
That I became very ill overnight, like hitting a brick wall at a very fast speed. And I had been at the best health up to that point. I'd worked and worked to get my health back because I had a lot of chemical toxicity earlier in my life. And so as a practitioner now for a long time, these things make a lot of sense that I'm talking about because of what I've discovered. So my interest really is the foundational pieces of health because I've been in it so long that really, unless we have the foundation, strong, deep foundation to build on top, it's not good enough anymore just to eat really well, eat organic even. I mean,
Plus everything that you think is organic is probably not that organic either. It has to be certified. Though I want to talk about how we're going to open up the lines to the audience right away because it's so important. She absolutely loves to give 2 gallons of water, this water, to everyone that calls in. She meets with them, and you absolutely love talking to them and hearing their story and sharing with them how they can change their life by drinking this water. And our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. And I'm going to let everyone call throughout the rest of the show today. And it's her birthday.
Yeah,
so,
I'm here and I'm having fun.
And she's here and having fun and giving this water because this is something that you have to actually have in your mouth, okay? This is just the best way to put it.
That's the way we start.
Exactly.
We want it's a feel. It's not a taste because I start with good water. That's an automatic. And that's a discussion that I have with people, what kind of water they drink. But by and large, it's the transformation of the water that makes it the way we were born to do. We were born with what I call the loop. We're born with a way that the body creates what we call single file alignment of water molecules, which makes the water enter through the membrane of the cell, which is a very difficult thing for things to do, and it's set up that way, we're made that way, for keeping bad things out, letting good things in. And once the water is not aligned, in other words, water is clumpy, it's magnetized to itself, and it's very, very difficult to enter through the cell. This water enters through the membrane, billions, with a B, of molecules per second. And that's the way the body was set up until about the time that we stopped growing. Because think of it, babies lay down, they go for a nap, they look bigger. They are bigger. Once they're replicating, they're growing, growing, right? So we need that speed. We have a need for speed, and but then it declines rapidly. And then we have another problem on top of it now, which is called our Wi-Fi world, which is a massive, massive, continuous 24 hours a day inflammatory response of the body. So there's a whole other, we're going to talk about that in the second half. But the water itself is the loop that we were born to do. It's a delivery system, it delivers your nutrients, it delivers itself, the hydration, it allows cells to communicate to each other, and it detoxifies.
So what's really cool
perfect.
too about this water, and I do drink it now, okay, it took me a while, but I do. And you know, I love it. My hands are so soft like a little baby's tushy, right? And my feet finally. And honestly, it's something that I think people need to experience, is the best way to put it. And she loves to sit down and talk to you. And I know people think, well, I drink water, but it's not the same. It's not the same. And water here, first of all, it's not that great water.
The water is antiviral,
Mm-hmm.
antibacterial, and antifungal. So we not only drink it, we spray it on ourselves. We spray it on cuts, wounds, bug bites, scratches, you name it. We spray it on our food. I don't eat fish at home. You know, if I'm making the fish or having shrimp, let's say it's already cooked, I spray or let the fish lay in the water for a couple minutes. And you literally, it feels like you just caught the fish because there's no smell to it. It's antibacterial almost instantaneously.
Our lines are open here. I'm going to let everyone call throughout the rest of the show for the 2 gallons of water. She wants to meet with everyone that she can to help them try this water. It's not only just the taste, because it's not about the taste, it's about the feel of the water. And when you do feel it in your mouth, you're going to feel a difference. Also, the cool thing about it is that it makes everything taste really great as well. So we've got our lines open here, and our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. Everyone's getting 2 gallons of this water. You got to try it. What else do you want to talk about before we go to a break?
Okay, so I wanted to tell a quick story because you just reminded me. There was last year when I was in New Jersey, I met a woman who's in her late 80s, and she was she saw me pouring the water. I was setting up a little demo, and she said, "Is that water thick?" I said, "Why do you say that?" Well, it turns out that she was on her mind. She was looking for water that wouldn't make her husband, who was in his 90s, aspirate or choke or, have lung problems from choking on liquids. Turns out that they got the water, and in 1 week, this man went from not being able to move or walk very well and looked, kind of done, if you will, to looking like he was about 15 years younger, and as though he went to a spa. He was so hydrated within a week
wonderful.
that he was kind of skipping around, kind of like the Irish jig. A week later, it was amazing.
We've got our lines open here for everyone to get 2 gallons of this water, and you're going to absolutely love to try it, because you have to try it. It is not something that you can get anywhere except through Kedzie. So our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. Hang tight, we're going to be back in just a minute. We're going to go keep them alive here because we're live on. Okay. So we're live on Facebook, so during those 30s we get to talk a little bit further. And and for you, you had some of the things that it helped with. I want to ask you, because I know you brought a paper in here that it can help with too.
Well, this, for everybody out there,
for now,
you can have this in an email, so just call in, and even if, just let me know. And it describes things, the properties of the water. So, in fact, I have an amazing picture of a woman who had MRSA on her finger. It was this giant thing. And she did all the medical things. It was getting worse. She found out about the water. And within several days, there's 4 pictures of showing how fast it was gone.
It's
completely.
amazing.
It's, I call it the Windex of water, because it does everything.
I like
You
that.
use it for everything. I clean my mirrors. I mean, you literally use it for everything. You do. I carry it. It's in every room. I carry it in my saddlebag when I ride my horse. I don't do anything with my horse. If she breaks her skin, I put the water, and it's like time-lapse photography. You can see it come together.
Well, we also know that my dog that I used to have had an issue, and you know, I was talking to you about my dog, and he said, Carol, just try it. You know, it can't hurt. You gotta try it. And I did. And it was amazing, the difference.
Like a vampire,
Yeah.
that's what turned you.
I did.
Finally.
Yeah, and finally, after even that, I said, I guess you know, I ought to try it, you know, since he's doing it, right?
But you know what's so amazing about it is the activator is not very large, right?
No.
And you can activate other liquids as well. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, I
Anything that's
have been
liquid.
doing that lately, because I didn't before, and I still have, I don't know what it is about me, but like the flavor of other things in my water, right? So I did do that, and now a while back, and I finally brought it out, I got 2 pitchers, so that I can do, one is strictly for the water, and then when I wanna do something like, you know, yeah, because I keep the one with the water strictly with just the water, but the water that gets, like, if I put something in it,
Yeah.
that's that second
That's
pitcher.
good. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
And then I just take the little top deal, you know, the
Activator.
activator, and it goes, I always have it at night, the night before I put it on, one, and then when I need to do the other one, just put it on the other one.
I know, having 2 pitchers is awesome.
I like it,
Makes
I like it.
easy
And I
and
like,
effective.
so, you know, it's.
Plus, it is charged with frequency. That's the other side of our technology, right? So you
Uh-huh.
don't wanna miss that light that's bathing whatever's in that pitcher.
Oh, really?
All the time, 24
Okay.
hours a day.
Yeah, I gotta do that more often. I love it. I really do. And because I don't know, when I drink it, to me, I feel a difference. I taste it, it's a just different feel is what it is.
It's alive, is what it is, yeah. You come back.
So welcome back. We are sitting here talking. That's what we do here during the breaks, everybody out there on Facebook land. And I love this show. And I do, and I say it every show.
I love this
Because,
show.
thank you, I appreciate
Yes.
that. Tell them that in the mic so they can all hear how much you
Well,
love my show.
you know, I do. Well, you know, I've been coming on forever.
Yeah.
And ever since I moved down to the valley, and I heard you once. That's all I needed. And I said, how do I become part of
That's
this?
so, thank
And
you
that's
so
really
much.
what happened.
And thank you for all of the years too. Now, we were at the break and you were saying that you use this water and it's almost in every room, right? And what did you say? Because it was really
Well,
funny.
you know, the Windex of water,
Yeah.
because it does everything. I was bitten in the face by a pit bull a number of years ago. I was 100 miles from home. Of course, I was drinking the water, and what I had with me was a spray bottle. So the very first thing I did was I went to my car, got the spray bottle, and then I said, oh, is my face still there?
Okay.
That was my priority because all I could think about was dog mouth bacteria
Yeah.
getting into my bloodstream. So thankfully I had been drinking it all day, and then I sprayed it. And when I got home, I used some of our other energy products, and by morning, nothing was left. No bruise, no cuts, no bites,
Amazing.
nothing. It was all healed. That's what we who've been using these technologies for so long, that's what we're used to.
Well, she absolutely loves our listeners. She loves to meet with them and talk to them, get to know you, because everybody has a story, especially when it comes to your health. And water. A lot of people, I don't like water. I never liked water forever. And, I like it now. And I think a lot of people can say that they probably don't. I hate drinking water,
So we
right?
want people to try it, but I do want to talk a little bit about
Wait a
the
minute.
other side
Okay,
of
but I
our
gotta tell them
technology.
the number
Yes.
so we can get more people to call in, okay?
Please.
So we've got our number here open for everybody to be able to call in, and I'm gonna let you do that throughout the rest of the show. She's gonna give 2 gallons of this water to everyone that calls in. So our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Call in, get the water, you're gonna try it. It's about trying this water. You gotta try it and feel it and see what it, feels like in your mouth and as it goes down and all that, and learn more about it.
Right, people
Okay,
want to know
what's one?
people want to know the benefits, and that's where, talking, having
Yeah.
a good conversation, what their issues are that they want help with, right? It's a freebie, it's a free consultation, really.
Right, and she has been a practitioner now for
a
how long?
time.
Very long time.
Many decades.
And it's all about health, because that's the underlying issue, well, I shouldn't say the issue, but the underlying of everything with you is health. That's the first thing.
It is.
Okay.
And just a last thing, they've done studies where water is available. We're not talking about clean or not, but water is available. You turn the tap and it's coming out, right? They've done studies showing that cells are 3/4 of the way dehydrated, or 25% hydrated. And people are drinking and drinking. It's not going in, and that's the problem.
And
We
I
lose
know.
people every year. They're hiking, they're drinking water, and they're gone.
I know.
So the other side to this puzzle, health puzzle, same scientist created near around the same time that he was creating this water activation after Chernobyl, and he, as a nuclear physicist, he designed and patented a way to protect our brain and bodies, our environments, our rooms and our cars and other things from electromagnetic radiation, okay, that is emitted from all of our fun devices in our useful world of Wi-Fi, right? And we're surrounded every day. There's more and more and more. Our houses are smart houses. Our cars are, more electrified than ever. Everything. So there is a whole system. We call it a layered approach. The water is a big part of it because dehydration is the first negative effect of the inflammatory process that Wi-Fi causes. We're on fire. Basically, the cells are trying.
I'm on fire every day.
You are on fire. Those cells are trying to protect themselves. They inflame. They're inflamed. Every disease known is an inflammatory. It starts with inflammation, and then a lot of things, reasons as to where it goes, what direction it goes, whether it's genetics, environmental, the whole thing. It's all together. So this is the gold standard. We've been around a long time, more than 20 years. And this is very scientific. It is a material that creates its own frequency that the body recognizes as friendly. And so it doesn't change the way your device works. It changes the way our body reacts to it. So we can live healthfully, pain-free, stress-free to the point of your own devices. Of course, you can't control the world, but you can be healthier in it and stronger.
Protect yourself, right? I mean,
Exactly.
you know it's there, and there's a lot of people out there that walk around saying, I don't know what's wrong with me, I feel a little fuzzy, right?
Brain fog, stressed, can't sleep, painful, joint pain.
Headaches.
Yeah, all the responses,
Where's that
the
coming
negative
from?
responses.
Why does that happen
I
so
had
much
over
now?
65 different symptoms before I knew what happened to me. And only because someone who knew about this 2 years into my struggle, and I knew many of the doctors where I was, and I knew that through their lens, their studies, that they would see me in their lens. And I knew that none of those things were really the appropriate diagnosis. The thing is that I am a very sensitive person, and so it affected me sooner than other people. Okay, so luckily this person that I met knew about this, and that's how it all happened. It was remarkable.
Well, 'cause it starts with the water inside, because you got to work on your
We didn't
inside,
even have
right?
the water yet at the time.
Really?
We had this piece of it, this piece of the layering to put on your devices to protect your body from all that inflammatory response. And then a few months later, the company brought in the water, and I was one of the first recipients of a pre-launch era of 6 months, and a lot of changes after that. But only because that person told me did it turn me around.
It's about being proactive with yourself, your own health, because a lot of times we go to the doctor and we're not finding the answers that we know there's something wrong, and they say, well, it's arthritis, right? And that's almost anything.
A label,
Right? They put
Yeah.
something on it. And I think everybody can relate to this, and the first thing is let's start off for this one, at least to start off with the water. It makes sense. And we're going to keep our lines open here for everyone to
And
get
animals, your plants. I've had people that have had plants that weren't dead, but they weren't growing in their house for years. Overnight, they put the water in that first night, and by morning,
They loved it.
leaves were popped out by morning. Plants have more of what we have called aquaporins. That's the way that water enters through the membrane of the cell. The membrane is a fat layer, oil and water, right? Doesn't mix. the water molecules have to be lined up in order to get through the membrane at a rate that we can be more than 25% hydrated, right? So we need billions of molecules per second, that's the alignment, and there's a lot more than that in the water activation process, but that's the basis, right? Plants, our kidneys have the most aquaporins of the entire body. Our brain is made of fat and water. Think of it, when we get dehydrated in our brain, we are in trouble.
We're stupid.
Well, the brain fog of the world.
Exactly.
So we need to continually have that loop of hydration and detoxification.
So call in here and get that number to call in here, which is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. I'm letting everyone call throughout the rest of the show. You're getting 2 gallons of this water. You got to try it. Have the consultation with her. Let you feel it. It's all about that, you know.
And I love meeting everyone. That's
You
the
do.
thing. You know, people call from all
You're
over the
amazing.
valley. You're amazing.
Thank you.
And you know, it's I have some really good lifelong friends now, like you, but you know, that I've met over the years, that it's just so wonderful to meet people who are listening, that love your show.
Oh,
And that's
thank
the
you
first
so
question I always ask. What do you listen to Carol, and what did you hear when you heard the show? Most people say, I don't really remember, I just felt something. So feel something, call in.
Yeah, call in here, but get yourself hydrated. The summer is upon us, and we live here in the desert, and we're all dehydrated. I don't care how much water you drink. If you're not drinking water like this, you're not getting hydrated. And I know you all know it, because most people say, I don't know what's wrong with me. I drank a lot of water. I'm still thirsty,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
I'm still thirsty, or you're still so dry. I don't understand my dry mouth, or my hands, or my feet, the cracks in your feet. They don't have to be that way. You gotta drink the water.
I'm
You
gonna
gotta drink
say,
the right water.
I just turned the gal that my horse is boarded with, okay? She's had a chronic sinus infection. This is not a medical device. However, the properties of what it does, it might as well be, but I'm glad it isn't. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to be sitting here talking about it this way, and people wouldn't be able to just, on average, get the device for themselves. But she is using it as a saline sinus wash. In addition to the saline, it's all of the properties that we talked about that are gonna help her finally clear out her problem.
Well, first of all, I want to say happy birthday again, and thank you for
Thank you.
being here today.
Thank
It just
you.
worked out perfectly. And, you know, I think everyone that's listening can all relate. We all know that we're totally thirsty all the time.
Yes.
And this is something that you have to try. You have to feel it in your mouth. It isn't something that you can just, you know, so just try it really quickly. It's something that when you put it in your mouth, you're gonna swish it around. It's an experience. So our number here is 602-277-5369. Everyone is getting 2 gallons of the water. You're gonna love it that you called in. Our number here again, 602-277-5369.